So these are the Serger machines. You're going to be using these for the pajama pants, but first you need to do 2 samples. So in your book, you're going to do a straight serge sample and a curved serge sample. Any of the machines are going to be threaded for you. So choose a color that matches as best as possible with your pajama pants. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this one I'm just using navy. But you'll want to choose something that's close enough. So same as before, you're going to turn the power on when you sit down. These machines, super important that you follow all of the directions. Absolutely no pins anywhere near these machines. What this is going to do is it's going to do a straight stitch, a zigzag, and it's going to cut your fabric all in one step. So it's super nice and super fast, but there's no going back. You can't seam rip. You have to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, and then absolutely no pins. So I like to just, when I sit down, I will turn it on and then check up where the threads are. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4 threads going through here so that this is all threaded correctly. And then you should have a tail already there when you start. If you don't see that, then let a teacher know, because then maybe the machine is unthreaded and that might cause problems for your on your project. So when I want to do my samples, so I have 2 pieces right sides together, 2 squares. I'm just going to serge one of the sides. So we are used to looking at the needle plate for our guide. The guides are actually on this plastic piece here. So I want to do a 5/8 inch stitch. So I'm just lining the edge of the fabric up with that 5/8 line. The foot is going to grab it, so you do not need to lift and lower a foot like we're used to. So I'm just going to line that up with the 5/8 and then push the foot pedal and it'll grab it. And then so I am watching here. I'm not watching the needle. I am watching the 5/8 to make sure, and go nice and slow. And you can see that it is stitching and it's cutting for me, which is why we cannot have pins, because they would just run into the blade and it's really expensive. So I'm just going to finish that. And then when you get to the end, we started with a tail, so we want to end with a tail. So I'm just going to keep pushing it. I'm not pulling, I'm just pushing it with the foot pedal. Bring it out a little ways so that you leave a tail, and then you can trim it with your snips. So that's the nice serged edge that we were talking about. So then when you look on the right side, it looks just like before, but it's really a nice finished edge. So that's your straight sample. I want you to do a curved sample as well, because in the pants you have a curve that you have to serge, so it's good practice. So you're going to grab 2 pieces that we have pre-cut a curve for you, and then you're serging the curve side. So just start on the 5/8 again, and the key here is go really slow. You can stop and make adjustments as you go. So I'm just using my fingers to guide around that curve, lining up on that 5/8 bold line. Nice and slow. Okay, and again, we want to end with a tail. So I'm going to trim that off, and it's a nice even curve. If it kind of looks wonky for you, you can grab 2 other pieces and try again. But you guys need to turn these in so you have sample pages in your book to attach those to. Before you leave the machine, I want you to clean up your scraps and throw them away and turn it off before you go anywhere.